Okay, so can everybody hear me?
You sound great.
Okay. All right. So this is a session on hyperlinking your lesson with HyperDocs. This is a two-part series. My name is Ashley Winkle. I am the director of distance learning. I'm also a tech coach, a professional development trainer, and a high school equivalency teacher for the Literacy Council of Tyler in Tyler, Texas. I have been using HyperDocs for, well, since probably about March when my boss had brought the idea to me. And I got super excited. So I ran out, got the book immediately, read the book in about no time at all, and immediately started using them. The second I started using them, I just couldn't stop. I do every single lesson with HyperDocs now. It's completely transformed my teaching. I am an adult educator, and I know a lot of people on here may be educators, but that's who I learned this from, was from K through 12. Because fortunately I get to use a lot of your stuff with my adult students. So I have a presentation here today, and today it's mostly going to be an overview of HyperDocs. And in the second session, what I'm hoping to do is do more of a how-to session. So feel free to ask questions in the chat box. I do have sections that I stop and ask for questions or comments. So go ahead and you can type them in there. And when I get to that section, we will go ahead and discuss your questions. So the objectives of this session is for by the end is for educators will know what a HyperDoc is and how it is implemented, how to use HyperDocs in administration, professional development, and classroom roles. So there's a lot of ways you can use this, and you get to be as creative as you want to. Reasons to use HyperDocs and skills, knowledge, and technology required to use HyperDocs. So what are they? So the best way that I could think of to explain what a hyperdoc is was to actually do one. So I created a hyperdoc on HyperDocs, which there's quite a few of these out there, so you'll see others. This was made specifically for an adult education group that I recently gave a webinar for. So this is what a hyperdoc looks like. And you'll notice that this is a Google document. So if you don't know how to use Google Documents, it's pretty important to know in order to use HyperDocs. So if you notice, I always put the directions on there, especially for my students. The first thing is you have to go to File and make a copy. And the reason why you're doing that is you want to be able to edit the copy. So if you don't make the copy, you're unable to do anything on the document. But once you have the copy, I usually tell my students to retitle it with their name. You're able to now type on your document. And you also notice that you can share it. So this is how some teachers have their students just put their email in there and they share it with them that way. What I like to do, which is a better way, is to use Google Classroom, because Google Classroom organizes it for you and makes it a lot easier for you to grade your students' worksheets, or your HyperDocs. So you'll notice, so this was used on a basic template that has been provided for us. And they walk you through exactly what you want to do step by step. So the first step is usually engage. So if you look, so the first thing I did is I included a video. So when you engage your readers, or your students, sorry. When you engage your students, you're basically going to give them a hook, basically. You want them to have an idea of what they're about to learn about. In this case, I just put on here this little short video clip that is a Powtoon that just gives you a basic overview of what a hyperdoc is. Oops. Okay. So that gives you a basic overview of what it is. From there, as the student, what thoughts do you have about HyperDocs so far? They are super awesome, something like that. So from there, you walk through the different steps. What you're going to notice is with HyperDocs, you tend to use a lot of links. So what I tell my students is every time they're done with one of the steps, I try to really remind them to exit out of that link. Otherwise, you end up with about 100 links on the top. But our next step is to explore. So we're going to take a HyperDoc tour. We're not going to go through the entire thing. I believe this was made by one of the girls who started HyperDocs, the concept of HyperDocs. And we're going to read about it. So HyperDocs is a Google document that replaces the worksheet method of delivering instruction, adding innovation and inquiry-based learning methods. It's full of instructions, links, graphic organizers, and any other tools needed for a student to complete a task. It can be used in class with a balanced flow between the teacher-directed instruction discussion or as flipped work. It is collaborative, easy to use for individuals, partners, or group work. So I'm going to go a little bit further on this and take a look at what else I can learn. So HyperDocs are about delivering content. So you can do these. There's a lot of ways you can do them. You can do them on a Google Doc. Google Slides are fun to do. If you're not familiar with Google Slides, that is Google's version of PowerPoint. But I like Google Slides because you have more freedom and you can do more creative things with it. And it can be done on a Google site as well. I have never done it on a Google site, but I have seen some of them out there that it has been done that way. Personally, I try to stick with either the Google Docs or Google Slides. And then we're going to look just a little bit further. So HyperDocs can have a changing effect on your pedagogy. Is this your view from the front of the class? Depending on how you build a HyperDoc, you can include the many layers of digital lessons, and you can always meet your content standards. They create inquiry-based lessons, which enable students to learn through exploration of a topic. And it allows for collaboration, critical thinking, and problem solving, and can be embedded into HyperDoc Google Apps in creative ways. So that just was my little tour of HyperDocs. As you see, I've got all these links open now. So can you guys still hear me? Nicole?
Yes, I can hear
Nicole?
you. Yes, I can hear
Okay, because for some reason I'm getting like, I'm hearing an echo on my end. I can hear myself is what I'm saying.
I don't hear an echo on this end. Not at all. So you're good to go.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so from there, what the student would do is they would list 3 reasons why HyperDocs, 3 reasons to use HyperDocs. From there, the explain section, you go through the individually or collaborative HyperDocs are, hold on one second. Nicole, I can hear myself. I cannot.
Okay, maybe can you just try unplugging your microphone and see if you can just do it without, you know what I mean? There you go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You're a little dull. Can you turn the audio up just a little bit more?
Okay, how about now?
No.
Yeah, see, I'm still getting the feedback in the back.
Interesting. Yeah, that's why I was staying muted. So I'm not sure. You could also mute your speaker.
Okay, maybe that's what's wrong.
Let me know if that helps.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, but it's still a little low.
Okay. How about now?
Um, it's muffled, but you can go like not to the point where I can't hear you or understand what you're saying. You can still
Okay,
go
I'll
on.
try to. Okay, let me try one more thing.
Yeah, no, I think it sounds much better already. Um, hmm. I can't hear you. Are you talking, Ashley? So Ashley, if you just go back to the settings that you had before, but turn off your speaker, you should be good. Okay. Mm.